Hi, today is 3rd July 2020 and from today exactly 147 days are remaining for CAT. And today we are going to discuss two questions from time, speed and distance. Very interesting question. So take your time, pause the video and try to solve these two questions. And then after some time you can start watching the videos. Alright, now let's start with the first question. It says two people A and B need to cross a bridge. So let's say this is a bridge and I can say let us assume the length of the bridge is nothing but that is equal to what? 1 unit. If you assume the length of bridge as 1 unit, the things will become easy. You get a equation which is very easy to solve here. Now A can cross the bridge is 10 minutes. So A is taking 10 minutes. So what is the speed of A? I can say the speed of A, it is equal to nothing but that is 1 by 10. So 1 unit in 10 minutes. So speed of A is 1 by 10. B can cross in 5 minutes. So what is the speed of B? Speed of B, that is going to be equal to 1 by 5. And there is also a bicycle available and any person can cross the bridge in 1 minute with the bicycle. So what is the speed of bicycle? So I can say SBI. BI represent bicycle. So that is equal to 1 upon 1. So 1 by 1 that is equal to 1. Alright. So these are the three things which are important here. So I am going to highlight this also. Now the question here says what is the shortest time that both man can get across the bridge? Now if we want to minimize the time, in that case you need to make sure that both A and B are reaching at the end point exactly at the same time. Alright. Because if someone reaches early and that person is waiting for the another person to reach there, so it means you are actually not utilizing the cycle effectively. Alright. So whenever the two person reaches exactly at the same time, then only the time will be minimum. So let's start here. As A is the slower one. Okay, A is the slower one. He is taking a lot of time. So A will start in a bicycle. He will travel some distance. So this dotted line, it represents the direction of A. So A is traveling certain distance in this case. Alright. So A will travel some distance. Let me write it down how much distance. You can assume this length to be X unit. Okay. So A, what A will do? A will travel this distance in a bicycle. Alright. And then he will drop the cycle here and he will travel the remaining distance by walking. So A will travel the remaining distance by walking. And what is this remaining distance? That is the green line. It is 1 minus X. Now, in the meanwhile, B will start with what? B will start walking because A has already picked up the cycle. B will reach to this point and again B will pick the cycle from here. Alright? And the remaining distance B will nothing but B will travel in a bicycle. And in that case both the person reaches at exactly same time. Now find out the individual time taken by A. So what I can do here is what is the time taken by A? Let me write down A. So A has traveled first part of the distance, that is X. With what? A has traveled the first part of the distance by nothing but that is by bicycle. So distance X with bicycle. So what is the time taken? X upon speed of bicycle. Alright. And what is the speed of bicycle? Here the speed of the bicycle is 1. So I can say X upon 1 plus the remaining distance is 1 minus X and A is traveling this remaining distance by nothing but by walking. And what is the speed of A? The speed of A is 1 by 10. So I can write down 1 minus X upon 1 by 10. So in that case, if you simplify it, you will get a very simple equation, that is X plus 10 into 1 minus X here. Okay, so you can see that you are not getting any fractional value. So X upon X plus 10 into 1 minus X, that will be comes out to be equal to how much? 10 minus 9X. So this is the time taken by A. Alright, so the time taken by A is equal to 10 minus 9X. Similarly, we can also calculate the time taken by B. So time taken by B here. B has walked the first part here. So that is the distance X with what is speed? 1 by 5. So X upon 1 upon 5 plus the remaining distance which is 1 minus X. B has traveled via bicycle. Okay. So what is the speed of bicycle? 1. So I'll say write down 1. So what is the total time taken by B? That is equal to 5X plus 1 minus X. So 5X plus 1 minus X. From here I'll get that the time taken by B it is nothing but that is equal to 4x plus 1. Alright. So the time taken by B is equal to 4x plus 1. Now remember, we want to minimize the time. So in that case, the time will be minimum when both of them are taking exactly the same time to reach to opposite end. So now I can equate these two equations. Alright. So let's equate these two equations. So if I try to equate these two equations and let's find out the values. So I can say that time taken by A, it is equal to time taken by B, which is equal to how much? 10 minus 9x, which is equal to 4x plus 1. Alright. So if you solve this equation, I'll get that is 13x is equal to 9. Or I can say x is equal to 9. Alright. So we have got x equal to 9. Once we get x equal to 9, you can substitute in any one of the equations and you'll get your answers quickly. So we know that what is the time? As both of them are equal, so time taken by A equal to time taken by B. And both of them are equal, so let's say A, 10 minus 9x. X is equal to how much? X is equal to basically 9 by 13, not 9. X is 9 by 13. So 9 into 9 by 13. So that will be equal to 130 minus 81 by 13. Alright, which is equal to 49 by 13. Now, if you solve this 49 by 13, what is the value which I'll get? Most probably 13 3s are 39 and 13 4s are 52. So between 3 to 4 and only one of the option is there. And if you try to solve it, you'll get the exact value which will be comes out to be 3.77. Alright. So the correct answer for this question is option B, alright, which is 3.77. So I hope that this is clear to all of you. Alright. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. Let me highlight the first of all the answer for this particular question. Alright. So the correct answer is option B, which is 3.77 minutes, which is 49 by 13. Now let's move to question number 14. Similar question, the only difference here is that instead of 2 person, there are 3 person. Now if there are 3 person, then how to proceed? That is very, very important here. So 3 people A, B and C need to cross the bridge. So there are 3 person A, B and C which needs to cross the bridge here. A can cross the bridge in 10 minutes. Alright. B can cross the bridge in 5 minutes and C can cross the bridge in 2 minutes. And there is also a bicycle available and any person can cross the bridge in 1 minute with the bicycle. What is the shortest time that all men can get across the bridge? Now, again here, I'll assume that let's say the length of the bridge is nothing but that is going to be equal to 1 unit here. Alright. So the length of the bridge is nothing but I can say the length of the bridge is 1 unit. Alright. Now, what is the speed of A? A is nothing but A is taking 10 minutes. So speed of A is equal to 1 by 10. What is the speed of B? To travel 1 unit, B is taking 5 minutes. So the speed of B is equal to 1 by 5. And speed of C, it is equal to nothing but 1 by 2. And the speed of bicycle, it is equal to simply 1. 1 upon 1, that is 1. Now here, who is the slowest person? A. So start with the slowest person. Okay. So if I start with A, what A will do here is A will start in a bicycle. Alright. So let's say this dotted represents the direction of A, or you can say the motion of A. So A will travel some part of this distance in a bicycle. So A will travel this distance in bicycle. Okay. Let's say this distance, it is equal to nothing but I can say, let's say this distance is equal to Y. Alright. This distance is equal to Y here. Okay. Once A reaches here, A will drop the bicycle at this point. And then he will travel the remaining distance. Okay. That is the green line. So A will travel the remaining distance by walking. And what is this remaining distance? That is equal to nothing but 1 minus Y. So this is the direction for A, and A will reach here. So what is the time taken by A? Let's calculate here. So A has traveled the first part, which is equal to Y unit. With what speed? In a bicycle, so Y by 1. Plus the remaining distance A has walked, 1 minus Y. With what speed? 1 by 10, so 1 upon 10. Now, if I solve this again, this equation will be equal to y plus 10 into 1 minus y. So from here, I'll get that the time taken by A, that is equal to how much? Time taken by A comes out to be how much? That is y minus 10y, or that is equal to 10 minus 9y. So this is the total time taken by A to reach to opposite point. Now, the next point here which arises, who will reach to the cycle here? Since the cycle has been dropped here, so who will reach first? Whether B will reach first or C will reach first. Now, we can see that the speed of C is greater than B. Okay. So, speed of C is 1 by 2, whereas the speed of B is equal to 1 by 5. So, C will reach to here first. And once C reaches to here first, he can pick the cycle. Okay. And then again, he will travel some distance here. So, let's start with C. So, C reaches here. So, I am writing down C reaches here to this particular point. Alright. So, let me write it down here. Let's say here. So, C will reach here. C will walk. And C has walked how much distance? That is equal to y. C will reach to this point and again he will come back towards B. Okay, he will come back towards B. Like this one. And then he will drop the cycle here for B. Okay, and then again he will travel the remaining distance towards the end point. By what? With the help of what? Again walking here. So this is the distance which C has traveled in a bicycle. Okay, and this is the last part, which is nothing but that is equal to which was traveled by C for walking here. And what we can assume here, let's say the point at which C has dropped the bicycle, that point is x unit from the beginning here. So let me write down this point is nothing but that is equal to x unit. Okay. So if this point is equal to x unit, so again my question here is, what about this distance? The distance which C has traveled in a bicycle. So that distance will be comes out to be y minus x. Why? This green line, this bigger line which I am highlighting right now, this distance is y. And this yellow line, this is equal to x. So this distance which C has traveled in a bicycle, it is going to be y minus x. So this distance, it is equal to y minus x. Okay, and this blue line, what is the total distance this particular distance walk? So I can say since this distance it is equal to x. Okay, this blue line, or we can say that yellow line, it is equal to x. So the remaining distance which he walked, that is going to be equal to 1 minus x. So this is equal to 1 minus x. So now let's calculate the time taken by B. So time taken by B to reach to the opposite end. First, he traveled the distance x and he has walked that distance, this particular distance, not x but y. He has traveled a distance y. With what speed? The walking speed of C, it is equal to 1 by 2. So y upon 1 by 2 plus. He traveled the remaining distance while coming back, that is y minus x. With what speed? 1. Because C has traveled this distance in a bicycle. Alright, so this is C, not B. Okay. Plus, then C has walked the remaining distance, that is 1 minus x. With what speed? That is 1 by 2. So now let's try to solve this equation. So if I try to solve this equation, what will I get here? That will be equal to 2y plus y minus x plus 2 minus 2x. Now simplify this, that will be comes out to be equal to 3y minus 3x plus 2. Alright. So the total distance traveled by here, that is equal to 3y minus 3x plus 2 here. Now let's come to B. Now, so B will travel this much. Now remember here, again I am going to highlight. C has dropped the cycle here. Okay, C has dropped the cycle here. So B will reach here and B will pick the cycle here. Alright, so B will pick the cycle here. So I can write down the B. Okay, so this is the distance traveled by B and he has walked. He will pick the cycle here from here and he will travel the remaining distance. Okay, that is 1 minus x. This is 1 minus x and this was x. So we will travel the remaining distance 1 minus x in a bicycle. So this last line, it represents the motion for B. So what is the time taken by B? So I can say the time taken by B. He has traveled the distance x with what? With the speed of 1 by 5. So I can say x upon 1 by 5 plus remaining distance, which is 1 minus x, with what speed? The speed for the remaining distance 1 minus x is nothing but that is coming out to be 1. And if I solve this, what will I get here? That is equal to 5x, that is minus x, that is 4x plus 1. And if you want to minimize the time which all three of them had taken to reach to the opposite points, make sure that their time is equal here. Alright, so now let's try to solve the final equation here. So I can say that the time taken by A, it should be equal to time taken by B, which should be equal to time taken by C. So time taken by A, it is equal to 10 minus 9y. Okay, which is equal to time taken by C or time taken by B, which is equal to 4x plus 1. So 10 minus 9y, which is equal to 4x plus 1. So 10 minus 9y is equal to 4x plus 1. And after solving this, equate this with equal to nothing but 3y minus 3x plus 2 here. Okay, 3y minus 3x plus 2 here. So we have got these three equations. 10 minus 9y is equal to 4x plus 1 equal to 3y minus 3x. So after solving this, you can find out what are the values of y and x. Okay, so solve this equation. All right, maybe you can, what you can do if you want to solve it. Okay, so solve these two equations. You can find out the relationship between x and y, and then with that equations you can solve next these two equations. All right, and then after solving this equations, you can find out what are the values of y and x. So solving the first two equations, you can find out y in terms of x or x in terms of y. Substitute that value of x or y in the second equations, second pair of equations, and then you will get the answer. So I'm writing down the final answer. If you solve this, you'll get the value of x, which will be comes out to be equal to 12 by 25. All right, and the value of y in this case, it will be comes out to be equal to 59 by 75. All right, now substitute this value in any equations. So we'll get that the time taken by A equal to time taken by B equal to time taken by C. So if you substitute the values of x and y in any one of the equations, in any of these three equations, you'll get the same answer, and that final answer will be comes out to be 2.92 minutes. All right, so I hope that this question is clear to all of you. A very interesting question. For 2% it is still doable. For 3%, how should we proceed? That is very, very important here. All right, so that's all for today. Thank you.